Welcome back to SouFLoTV again, everybody. It is your host with the most. So, if you watched my live this morning, then you will see that I talked about soldier life in the U.S. Army in particular, because that is where I served in the U.S. Army. So, I talked about the things that soldiers have to endure as far as spouses go and all these kind of things. Yes, I couldn't find the story at the time. But now I have found the story, and not only have I found the story, but I went and did a little bit of research on my own. So we're going to read some from the Gleaner. We're going to hear what this victim's parents, not parents, but family members had to say. And we're also going to talk a little bit about where this brother was stationed and all these things. Let's get this out the way. They are both Jamaicans. He is a Jamaican. She is a Jamaican. They are both in their 30s. He is in his 30s. She's in her 30s. He is with the 4th Infantry Division. I myself was with the 1st Infantry Division. He's with the 4th Infantry Division, which is stationed in Fort Carson. All right. And where he is stationed in Fort Carson, it is actually the home of the 10th Special Forces Group. It's the home of the 4th Security Force Assistance Brigade, which is FAB, 440th Civil Affairs Battalion, which is USAR. He is with that's also home to the 71st Ordnance Group, which is EOD. There's also, I keep wanting to say he is, but these are the units that are stationed there. Then there's the 4th Engineer Battalion. Then there's the 759th Military Police Battalion, and then there's the 10th Combat Support Hospital. We call them the Striker Brigade. And the Striker Brigade has rescued us on deployment. Not rescued, but replaced us in theater on deployment, or we have replaced them a couple of times throughout my military career. Now, the story broke on a couple of different platforms. All right. And I first got it from Fox21News.com. And in Fox News, it says that Colorado Spring, Colorado, a Fort Carson soldier has been arrested after he told first responders that he shot his wife in their southwestern Colorado Springs home, according to police. That means first responders are the ambulance people and the first set of law enforcement officials that arrived at the scene after all that had happened. He admitted to them that he had shot his wife in their home. Maybe he did so on the phone while calling for help. So Dermot Blake is his name, and he's 33 years old, and he's charged with first-degree murder as well as 2 misdemeanor counts of child abuse with no injury. The fatal shooting happened around 1 a.m. Saturday at a home on Squawbush Ridge Grove. That's in the area of South Circle Drive and Delta Drive. That's not really important. Police said that Dermot Blake called 911 and stated that he had shot his wife. So there's no guessing if he did it. And I was kind of thrown back when the headlines in the US says that he was arrested on suspicion of shooting his wife. He clearly said he did it. Anyhow, when officers arrived, they found the victim, which is 30-year-old Tashiana Blake, dead inside their home. Blake was detained on the scene, and he was later taken to the El Paso County Jail, where he has been held without bond. Police said 2 children were present at the home. The children were not injured, and the children were released to family members. Now, according to a Fort Carson News spokesperson, Dermot Blake is a sergeant, and he is stationed at that post at Fort Carson. He has been in the Army for 4 years and 5 months, to be exact. This is the 3rd homicide investigation in Colorado Springs in 2021. The CSPD investigated 6 homicides in this area last year. So it's not a place that has a whole bunch of murders, right? But however, I can tell you from personal experience that if he made sergeant in 4 years, that he was probably a very good soldier. He was what we were calling fast tracking, right? And he made sergeant in 4 years. He's been in for 4.5 years. Now, fast forward to the Jamaican newspaper, how it was presented in the Gleaner. There's a different side to the story, as in there is more. So in the Gleaner, it said a Jamaica family is in mourning after their 30-year-old Tashiana Johnson Blake was reportedly shot by her military husband in front of their 2 children in Colorado, United States, over the weekend. The police have arrested the suspect, Dermot Andrew Blake, who is Jamaican and is in his 30s, on charges of first-degree murder and child abuse without injury, which I've told you before. I want you to listen closely to the rest of this. So, Blake, who is a active duty sergeant at the car, that means he's not on reserve. That means he is not a National Guard. He is a fully active soldier. This is what he does day in, day out. This is his 9 to 5. So he is a fully active soldier, a sergeant at the Fort Carson military base. Did not have a bond listing in the El Paso County Sheriff's website yesterday when he was scheduled for his first court arraignment. Told you before, according to the U.S. news, he was held without bond. So they're not letting him out. How this is going to play out, maybe. What usually happens in these cases is the military takes over and the soldier is punished under the Uniform Code of Military Justice because he is GI, government issued. He belongs to the government. But we'll see where it goes from here. The tragic event hit Johnson Blake's family hard, with the uncle taken to Facebook to express his grief. So her uncle is in Jamaica. Her uncle said, well, I don't know if he is in Jamaica, but he certainly sounds like he is Jamaican. And he said, I am mourning because of my niece. Lost her to domestic violence, he captioned, and put a photo up. And another uncle who resides in Jamaica told the Gleaner that the family has been devastated. She came out here when she was smaller. She and my sister came to visit, meaning she came to visit Jamaica, he said, of Johnson Blake, a realtor whose parents are both Jamaican. He said that the couple had been together for several years, and he theorized that a domestic dispute might have led to the shooting. It must domestic problem. They have two children together. And me here say, him kill her in front of the picnic them. Shot her in her head, the uncle said. I got the call and I spoke to her grandmother, also his mother. And she said that they were getting ready to go down to Colorado. They are in New York. They were to call me back, but I guess the situation have them up there away, he said. The family is particularly concerned about how it will affect the couple's children, even as they call for justice to be served, because mommy is gone to the grave and daddy is most likely going to prison for a very long time. So just like that, these children are, you could almost say, orphaned. These children are without parents. Reports from the Colorado Springs police are that they responded to a call, and when they arrived there, the person there, they found a woman who had not been named by the police or the U.S. media reports at the time that the Jamaican newspaper had put this out, but who family members tell the Gleaner is actually Johnson Blake, and she's dead inside that house. Her death is currently being investigated by homicide as a homicide. U.S. media reports suggest that the identity of the woman killed would not be released until the coroner's office determined the cause of death. Well, I read you first from the U.S. media, and her identity definitely has been released. And if the case is that they wouldn't release her identity until cause of death was met, then that means it has been determined that she died by gunshot, just like her husband said. Sadly enough, man, these two children, they're going to need a lifetime of counseling. At least for the next 10, 15 years of counseling, hardcore counseling, they're going to need. Especially if it is true that he actually executed her with a headshot in front of their children. I don't know what kind of rage this is. I don't know what kind of anger he was into or what kind of dark place he went to. But I can tell you this. I can tell you that he is from a unit that is a rapid deployment unit. So Stryker Brigade is exactly what it sounds like. Stryker Brigade is an infantry brigade, and they strike. Okay? Like all infantry brigades, they strike. Now, they are set up to go into deployment at the drop of a hat. And they have been on many deployments. And if he has been in for 4.5 years, then I can tell you that he probably has already been to Iraq and Afghanistan and these places. I am willing to put money on it that he has. You don't rise to the rank of sergeant by ducking deployments. That fast to make it to sergeant by ducking deployments. So I'm willing to bet that he has. What I'm saying here is this, is that his anger took over him and he executed her. However, this is not typical behavior of someone just because they are an infantry soldier. Because as much as infantry soldiers are trained to kill, they are also trained to keep peace. They are also trained in conflict resolution. They are also trained in having a strong mind, psychologically built to handle pressure without cracking. But I guess his training did not come to the forefront of his mind when he executed his wife. AEW said, surely there was a better way to resolve any disagreement between him and his wife without it coming to this. The fact that this was allegedly done before the children makes it particularly heinous. Sad situation, and may she rest in peace. Anthony says, no man, our people are losing it. Sylvia Griffin says, I am beyond words. Strength to the family. Griffith68 says, 2 more lives lost. 1 to the grave and the other 1 to prison. Just like what I said. And the children will suffer in the end. I don't know if when adults have children, if they don't realize that it's all about the children now. Your decisions affect the children. You can't be in an argument with your spouse, right? And you let the argument escalate to the point where you are packing bags and leaving, and you're going to just demolish this relationship over simple arguments. And then these children, you please your ego, and then you leave children to grow up in broken homes. You leave children to grow up where their parents are enemies of each other for whatever reasons that has nothing to do with them. So I hear some people say stuff like, well, picking a whole man again. I tell you what, Pickney should be holding you. If there's anything else or any other reason to work hard, to put your pride aside, to put your ego to the side, and to find a solution to your conflict, it should be your children's future and your children's immediate happiness. Anyways, that's just my thinking, and I'm saying that from a place that I am now, a place of maturity, not where I was before. Connie says, me tired of Jamaican men killing women. Women, it's time to take up arms. Me tired now. Every week, one mother, sister dead. Me tired now. And De La Vega answered that and said, women, it's time to take up arms? I'm not so sure what arms you are referring to here, but if you're suggesting that women should take up firearms to go on the defense, you best believe that the bloodbath would get deeper. We continue to use reports like these to promote fighting fire with fire. It is squarely in our nature to resolve everything. Is it squarely in our nature to resolve everything with violence? Then Lucky G says, boy, like they say, same way you dance a yard, Same way you dance abroad. Believe me, men, we men are very coward and weak in mind, deed. Do we just have to murder? God Almighty, help us. The best answer or comment I've seen so far is this one. And I'm going to end this video with this one. Della Vega, big up to yourself wherever you are. You left this comment 4 hours ago on the Gleaner underneath this article. And Della Vega said, you should not attempt to speak on behalf of all the men. You can speak for yourself and for those who choose to resolve their conflicts violently. I've been married for 21 years, been together for 35, and I have never laid a hand on my wife or my 30-year-old daughter. And I am sure that a lot of brothers are out there who can attest to the same. Anyone who believes that physical altercation always have to be a part of a couple's life, they are dead wrong. So stop putting all men in a barrel that you might be in. The men who are weak are the ones who choose to be what they are. Godly living is the only way to go. And I'm going to leave it right there. You know, it's funny that they are both Jamaicans. Because, you know, a lot of people are going to have a field day with it and say, man, is this in our genes or what? Clearly, her Jamaican family said she came to visit when she was a little girl or when she was much younger. So, which tells me that she was not raised in Jamaica, but I don't know his background. Was he raised in Jamaica from 6, 7, 8 years old, where I can say he is Americanized? Or did he go over to the U.S. as a teenager, where I can say, well, Jamaica was already instilled in him before he left the island? I don't know. Either way, 2 lives lost. Either way, 3 lives are in turmoil. Mother and father have lost their life because mom's going to be buried and father is going to be in prison. And 2 children, their lives are going to be in turmoil from here on out. I pray for these children. I hope they get all the help they need. They're in the right place. And I'm absolutely sure that the military will step in and facilitate to make sure that these children grow up with some form of normalcy. The military, let me just put this out there again before I close the video. The U.S. military they don't only take care of their soldiers when they are on active duty, they take care of them after they even leave duty. And that's a fact. I know that personally from my own experience. All right. Leave your comments in the comment section below. And this is for my morning thoughts, people. Us finishing up exactly what I told you I would do. Go dig up the information and bring the whole story to you. Enjoy, and remember that was our last morning thoughts for a little while until I get back. All right. Bless up and on a walk good. I'm out. Peace.